Lucy Jongwe. The headlines. Lemezi MP advises UPND Alliance members to stop meddling in government affairs. ECZ sets record clear on Nakachinda and Kambwili's claims of arrest. Chinese investors in Chibombo call for state protection, accuse immigration officers of harassment. Sean Tambo dares UPND administration to take away constitutional guaranteed freedom of speech. Immigration secures 72 conviction, apprehends 83. Lusaka-based clergyman urges citizens to avoid politicizing National Day of Prayer. In sports, Patton Dhaka scores the first EPL goal for Leicester City in their 4-2 win against Manchester United. And now the news in detail. A consortium of non-government organizations with over 30,500 signatures has petitioned government to revise its decision to allow Kangolui copper mines to proceed with mining activities in the Lower Zambezi National Park of Rufunsa district. Speaking on behalf of other chiefs who are against the copper open pit mine, Chief Bunda Bunda of the Soli people in Rufunsa district says there is need for government to consider long-term investments and be a champion of saving the natural resources in the Lower Zambezi. And Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Elijah Machima has assured the petitioners that government will work in line with people's demands. Lemezi Member of Parliament Muna Zulu has maintained that much needs to be done under President Hakainde Hichilema for him and his administration to succeed. Mr. Zulu says one of the ways is by ensuring that he lives by his promises in the fight against corruption. He says this should be done by not
We're going to...
Ministers in Chibombo call for state protection, accuse immigration officers of harassment. Sean Temple dares UPND administration to take away constitutionally guaranteed freedom of speech. Immigration secures 72 convictions, apprehends 83. Lusaka-based clergyman urges citizens to avoid politicizing National Day of Prayer. In sports, Patson Dhaka scores first EPL goal for Leicester City in their 4-2 win against Manchester United. And now the news in detail. A consortium of non-governmental organizations with over 30,500 signatures has petitioned government to revise its decision to allow Kangalui copper mines to proceed with mining activities in the Lower Zambezi National Park of Rufunsa district. Speaking on behalf of other chiefs who are against the copper open pit mine, Chief Bondabonda of the Soli people in Rufunsa district says there is need for government to consider long-term investments and be a champion of saving the natural in the Lower Zambezi, and Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Elijah Muchima has assured the petitioners that government will work in line with people's demands.
Zambezi champions have petitioned government through Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to revise government's decision to allow Kangalui copper projects from going ahead in the Lower Zambezi National Park. About 32 non-governmental organizations, among them Action Aid, Worldwide Fund for Nature, and Game Rangers International. WWF Country Director Nachila Lankombo, on behalf of other NGOs and stakeholders, handed over the petition that contains about 3,800 signatures and more than 406,000 people across the world have viewed the said document. Ms. Nkombo emphasized the need of government to preserve land for long-term projects like agriculture and tourism.
If this mine goes ahead, it will pollute the water that we need for various uses. It will degrade the land, it will kill wildlife, and the world-class tourism destination that we have in the Lower Zambezi. We know where a mine happens, pollution definitely happens. So the eminent river pollution that will occur will threaten the Zambezi River's 2,000-ton subsistence fisheries livelihoods, which provides food and water security to 20,000 people living along the banks of the Zambezi.
Chief Bundabunda of the Soli people of Rufunsa in Rufunsa district, who spoke on behalf of other chiefs, said on behalf of their people, the traditional leadership have strongly supported the petition to halting of the controversial open pit copper mine.
If we allow the mining activities to take place in Lower Zambezi, there will be permanent destruction of the environment around. And that permanent destruction of the environment around, it will mean down the Lower Zambezi, the water will be polluted, and equally the environment, we talk of the trees and the grass which animals feed on, also will be destroyed.
Speaking at the same event held Friday, October 15th, 2021, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Elijah Muchima said he will present the said petition to the head of state and possibly propose for a revisal of decision on the said mine as the effects outweigh the advantages.
He realizes the important role that our full portfolio of biodiversity assets play in supporting our economy, the livelihood, and the health of our whole population. Our subsistence farmers, fishermen, and other community members are largely dependent on the Zambezi.
Records suggest that the mining project was approved on May 7, 2021, during the government of President Edgar Lungu by the Zambia Environmental Agency, ZEMA. Since then, the establishment of the copper mine has been received with mixed feelings from mining and environmental experts, which has now seen the birth of the petition. The open cast mine Kangalui is owned by Mwembeshi Resources Limited. The coalition's concerns are that the mine will contaminate water bodies for communities in Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique, and it shall destroy farming and fishing project activities going on, as well as one of the region's largest tourism destination. Liambela Mutumba, MUVI TV News in Lusaka.
Lemai's Member of Parliament Mona Zulu has maintained that much needs to be done under President Hakainde Hichilema for him and his administration to succeed. Mr. Zulu says one of the ways is by ensuring that the lives of his promises in the fight against corruption. He says this should be done by not allowing people with questionable background in his government. He adds that so far the head of state has made a lot of mistakes, which he says might make it difficult for him to achieve his agenda. Meanwhile, Mr. Zulu has advised members of the UPND alliance to avoid the appetite of wanting to speak on behalf of government on national issues that only government can respond.
For the record, I can afford to hire Tabo and Chulfiatali to defend me out there. That I can do. That I can do. You think I don't have the capacity to hire those two? Those are people you hire because they've got personal needs. They've got bills to pay. You think them having press briefings all over was for free? Only that maybe one could be paid slightly above the other. Those are people we can all hire. It's not a secret. Those are people you hire if you don't want to be in front of cameras. And I've got the capacity I can. I'll not shy away from saying it. Those I can afford to hire.
And in this case, you feel that those individuals were paid to defend some...
Those are machines for hire. We can't even pay particular attention to them. Those you hire. Trust me, if I wanted to hire, I would hire, but not that caliber. No, I wouldn't go for them. Those you hire, it's a fact. Those are people you hire. Paid to defend. For how long are people going to be paid to defend wrong things? We are a country of laws. We are a country of morals. But we still have charlatans that can raise up in the morning to defend criminals. How? And then you wonder to say, is it necessary that we should continue on this path? Or maybe we should all pause and see how far we shall go. You have people like Tabo, Chirufyatayali. Now that Dr. Meat is not there, who are they going to defend next?
The Kapirim Port Immigration Office has secured the conviction of 16 Ethiopians for the offense of unlawful entry into the country. This brings the number of convictions secured by the Department of Immigration between 12th and 14th October 2021 to 72. Meanwhile, the department in Lusaka has arrested 2 male Zambians, Fonsani Jere, 41, of Ngombe Compound, and Elvis Somena, 38, of SOS for giving false information to an immigration officer contrary to Section 52, Cap 4 of the Immigration and Deportation Act number 18 of 2020 of the laws of Zambia. Similarly, the Lusaka Regional Immigration Office on 13th October 2021 apprehended 18 suspected illegal immigrants. This was in a routine cleanup operation which covered Kamwala, Misisi, and Chawama residential areas. Those apprehended were 8 Burundians, 4 Congolese, and 3 Zimbabweans, while others were 2 Rwandese and 1 Tanzanian.
Meanwhile, the Department of Immigration in Lusaka has arrested 2 male Zambians, Fuseni M. Jere, 41, of Ngombe, and Elvis Somena, 38, of SOS for giving false information to an immigration officer, contrary to Section 52(4)A of the Immigration and Deportation Act number 18 of 2010 of the laws of Zambia. The duo was arrested on 13th October by immigration officers who were verifying the authenticity of information provided by the 2 who stood as sureties in the bail application of a female Tanzanian national, Chinabo Selengia, who is being prosecuted for giving false information. Fuseni Jerry and Elvis Somena jointly and whilst acting together presented to the court fake introductory letters purporting that the letters were generated and approved by Chipata Level 1 Hospital, when in fact not. It has since been established that Elvis Somena does not work at Chipata Level 1 Hospital, while Fuseni Jerry is employed at the same hospital but is currently on suspension. They are currently detained at Kamwala Remand Correctional Facility pending court appearance. Similarly, the Lusaka Regional Immigration Office on 13th October 2021 apprehended 18 suspected illegal immigrants. This was in a routine cleanup operation which covered Kamwala, Misisi, and Chawama residential areas. Those apprehended were 8 Burundians, 4 Congolese, and 3 Zimbabweans. Others were 2 Rwandese and 1 Tanzanian. They are detained at Kamwala Remand Correctional Facility pending prosecution. This brings the number of persons apprehended for various immigration offences between 12th and 14th October 2021 to 83. During this same period, the Department of Immigration removed 63 illegal immigrants from the country and refused 5 foreign nationals entry into Zambia for failing to meet entry requirements. Those removed were 34 Zimbabweans, 14 Congolese, 5 Malawans, and 4 Tanzanians. Others were 3 Burundians, 2 Somalis, and 1 Indian. Those refused entry were 2 Malawans, 2 Tanzanians, and 1 Mauritanian. The department wishes to encourage members of the general public with information of an individual, a business or employer who is aiding and abetting illegal immigrants to report and contact the Department of Immigration.
Local contractor from Horizon Properties, Soki Wempindi, has called on the new Dawn administration to seriously prioritize the promotion of local companies in an effort to achieve sustainable development in the country. Dr. Kiwempindi says it is sad that for many years successive governments did not consider capacity building for the local contractors and other investors in the country, but preferred to give most contracts to foreign companies. He adds the benefit of empowering local companies is because Zambians understand the challenges their country is facing. He was also quick to caution government that such contracts must be given on merit. Meanwhile, Dr. Kiwempindi has also announced his company will work hand in hand with government in order to help uplift the housing deficit among the civil servants in the country, at the same time advise government to consider improving housing allowances for the government workers.
The government has got an obligation to provide a decent affordable housing to civil servants. But I think what's important is that to create an environment in the private sector which can sort out the problem of housing. Government cannot provide housing to the areas, but it's to give a conditional environment to the private sector like ourselves. I'm saying give us money, give us opportunity, let our products which fit into the affordable income of the civil servant so that they can tap into the opportunities we should create as the private sector. One, the problem of housing is kind of solved by government, but we create a condition environment. For example, increase the housing allowance for civil servants. Let the housing allowance service the mortgages. So you look at the problem and you look at where are you going to constitute, where are you going to put the resources to assist. You can insist the civil servants by increasing the housing allowance. And then that housing allowance is charged in servicing the loans. I think that's the one line. And in the case, as a result, we are on the back of a project of 2,500 units in China, and we have approached government. And to me, it's interesting that government is very willing to allow us to showcase that a Zambian company can craft a product for Zambians. Because we understand the challenges. A foreign person cannot come and understand the problem. No. Because it doesn't matter how much you are getting to women. So, in that way, the product can sell out. Government needs to partner with the private sector by creating conditions environment for borrowing, and also to allow.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia has dispelled allegations circulating in some media outlets that it has issued instructions to the Zambia police to arrest Patriotic Front PF aspiring candidate for the Lusangazi Council chairperson seat of an alleged fake grade 12 certificate. Commission Corporate Affairs Manager Patricia Luhanga says at no time has it issued instructions to the police to have the aspiring candidate arrested, stating that such news must be treated with the highest contempt. Ms. Luhanga, however, says the Commission received a written complaint from the United Party for National Development, UPND, who questioned the successful processing of the nomination of the PF candidate based on an alleged questionable grade 12 certificate. She adds that the Commission guided the aggrieved party that according to the law, a person may challenge before a court or tribunal the nomination of a candidate within 7 days of the close of nomination, and the court shall hear the case within 21 days of the lodging complaint. For economic progress, PEP leader Sean Tembo has argued that the freedom of expression he and fellow Zambians are enjoying today is not given by the Republican president or any other government institution, but a constitutional right. Mr. Tembo says it is surprising that some of his opponents, including some social media users, are bragging that the new Dawn government has brought freedom of speech. He has challenged police to arrest him for criticizing President Hakainde Hichilema.
There is this misconception by the UPND administration that people of Zambia exercise their freedom of expression, freedom of association, freedom of assembly, because the UPND government is actually giving them those freedoms. And I want to say this, I'll say it once, that is absolute nonsense, total nonsense. The freedom of expression, freedom of association, freedom of assembly that we enjoy as citizens in this country is something that is given to us by the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia. You understand? By the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia. The narrative which President Hichilema and his ministers have been driving, that the reason we speak the way we are speaking right here is because he has given us these freedoms, is total nonsense, absolute nonsense. Well, and I want to make it clear. Freedom of expression, Mr. Tembo. I want to make it clear, Chisha, that we do not need to get any permission, and we do not need to receive any permission from the current government for us to be able to express ourselves. We don't. And we shall never. And if they think that we express ourselves because they allow us, then they should disallow us. Tell them to withdraw their permission for us to exercise our freedoms. Tell them to withdraw it right here and right now. Tell them to send the police to come and arrest me because I'm speaking about their government. I'm explaining to the people of Zambia how incompetent their government is. Tell them to withdraw that freedom if they feel they are the ones who actually give it to us.
Yeah, so I do know for a fact that yes, it is backed by law, but would you enjoy the same freedoms in the previous regime?
We've been speaking since time immemorial. If the PF, during the PF regime, when the PF tried to stop us by sending the police, we took the police to court. And we won the cases. So if the UPND administration wants to stop us, they can send their police, and we'll sue their police also, and we'll win in court. And I want to tell the president right here and right now, I want to tell President Hichilema, if he thinks he is giving us, he's the one giving us the freedom of expression that we are enjoying right here and right now, let him withdraw that freedom of expression right now. Let him send his policemen to come and arrest me. And I want him to do it tonight. Let him withdraw. We don't need his permission. We don't want him to give us any permission to express ourselves. Since he thinks he's the one who gives us that permission, we don't need that permission.
You are watching MUVI TV Primetime News. We still have more news items coming up after the break. Do not go.
If I go down I won't care, 'cause I know that I'm a superstar and I am strong. I'll find my way back again, like Apple Max.
To all my troubles and pressures, to all the rules and the measures, to all the battles and dangers, I made it this far, now I'm like a treasure. I'm the realest one to ever do this. They wanna see me go, but the rudest. I'm raising my tone like I'm foolish, and I am a star. Yo, I shine like a movie. I know I'm leading the race. For 20 years on the chase. I know that I'm the boss. Who got the juice and the sauce? I got the power and the energy. I don't need no other strategy. I inspire the prodigy, 'cause Apple Max is my remedy.
And so I fly up high just like an eagle in the sky. And if I fall down, we'll rise back up again. 'Cause I take it to the max. I turn it up, I turn it up, like fire, I'm burning the air. I take it to the max. I turn it up, I turn it up, Cause I take it to the max. I turn it up, like fire, I'm burning the air. I take it to the max. I turn it up, I turn it up, Cause I'm a superstar.
Apple Max, now in new 500 mils.
Presenting Mr. Money! Mr. Money, he knows it all. I'm here to tell you what Airtel Money is all about. Move cash from the bank to any Airtel Money account. Are you tired of long bank queues? Get Airtel Money, that's what you use. Mr. Money, he knows it all, money. He knows it all. Save and earn interest in your Airtel Money account. Take loans for emergencies and get your right amount. That's right, Mr. Money, he knows it all, money. He knows it all. Do it all with Airtel Money. Transfer money from your bank account to Airtel Money. Save money, earn interest, and loads more. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Place a bet. Search on the web or get the app. OneXBet Bookmaker Company.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. Government has been advised to work at conserving local varieties of seeds by preventing the importation of live genetically modified organisms, GMO seeds, in the agriculture sector. Zambia Alliance for Agroecology and Biodiversity board member Timothy Piri says GMO seed varieties, once introduced to the country, will lead to the extinction of local seeds through cross-pollination because they have terminating genes that only allow seeds to grow far for a short period and later fail to produce. Mr. Piri says that once this happens, the local food chain will be affected drastically as local farmers will have to depend on foreign companies for seeds, a situation that will leave the country food insecure. He has since called on the government to ensure that the review of the National Food Biosafety Act is transparent and inclusive to remove loopholes that may lead the country's local seed varieties disappearing.
What is the danger of contaminating our local crops and that gene pool for our local seeds and crops? The disadvantage is that collection of natural genes is never the same. The traits from the genetically modified crop is passed on to this crop that's meant to be a pure breed for our own local crops and seeds. Most of the GMO plants that we find actually have what's referred to as a terminator gene. That means once you plant the crop, you will notice that if you keep on planting seeds from successive harvests, the yield begins to planted. That is one of the low seed in the on 6 million of seeds from us. And in the process of reviewing the act, we want Zambia to maintain strict control on the type of genetic materials that are allowed into the country, so we don't have a situation where we are suffocated with GMOs and we end up losing our own local indigenous crops.
Mborokoso Member of Parliament Brian Mundubile has charged that there will be no development President Hakainde Hichilema and his government will carry out that will beat the record of the former ruling party, PF. Mr. Mundubile says his PF has raised the bar in terms of development and says this will be difficult for the UPND administration to surpass, looking at how he has started his government so far. The Mborokoso lawmaker, who is also leader of opposition, says Mr. Hichilema will find it difficult to govern because of what he describes as internal wrangles that have engulfed UPND.
Youths are saying, Bali, you can't say jobs don't come from rocks. No, that's not coherent. We are saying in as much as jobs can be created overnight, but we think that it's also not correct. When the youths have come to us for jobs, they want to hear from you. They want to be told, our dear youths, the budget is coming in October, and listen to the budget speech. You'll be able to see the areas where we are creating jobs. But not to begin to give examples about rocks, feeding cows, milk. I think that's not what the deal was. And the youths are saying, but what is the problem? What is going on? You know, the civil servants equally are saying, where is our 1-5? So that is our job. We don't want our colleagues to misunderstand us. For us in Parliament, we are getting their manifesto as the basis of providing checks and balances. We can't use any other manifesto. The PF manifesto was rejected. The people voted for the UPND, and we're saying, let's pick this manifesto. The Zambians are saying this one looks better than the other, and then we'll make sure that they implement that. Yeah, so in sum, we are saying the level of violence that we have witnessed is worrying. There must be a stop to it. And the person that was charged with it.
As the world commemorates World Food Day, several civil society organizations, CSOs, and farmers from across the country have held a festival dubbed Zambia Traditional Seed and Food Festival to celebrate and raise awareness on the importance of traditional seeds and foods to the body's well-being. Officiating at the festive Human Rights Commission chairperson Mudford Mandenga says food and nutrition is a universally recognized basic human right that every individual should enjoy. Mr. Mandenga says the Commission will continue to advocate for the revision of the Republican Constitution to ensure that the right to food and nutrition is included in the Bill of Rights. And Zambia Traditional Seed and Food Festival chairperson for 2021, Juliet Nayamba, says the festival is aimed at promoting organic production in the agriculture sector and nutrition that is affordably derived from local foods.
On the 16th of October, the world celebrates World Food Day to draw attention to the importance of health and nutritious food in fighting hunger and poverty. This year's World Food Day was held under the theme, Safe Food Today for Healthier Tomorrow. In Zambia since 2018, civil society organizations and farmers celebrate this day by holding the Zambia Traditional Seed and Food Festival, aimed at raising awareness on traditional seeds and foods, as well as the knowledge of farmers in them. This is done alongside advocates to protect the indigenous seeds and foods. This year's event was held under the theme Sustaining Traditional Food Systems for Nutrition in the COVID-19 World. Officiating at the event, Human Rights Commission Chairperson Madford Mwandenga said the matter of food and nutrition should be made law.
The wish to learn is only concerned about civil and political rights. It is our hope as the Zambia Human Rights Commission that sooner than later the Constitution shall be amended to include economic, social and cultural rights, which will include the right to food and nutrition, so that it will be legally possible for people to even push for the promotion of traditional foods and seeds. In this regard, as the Zambia Human Rights Commission, we shall continue lobbying for the amendment of the Constitution.
Lusaka City Deputy Mayor Keti Nanyangwe also attended the Seed and Food Colored event.
A secure food supply must be guaranteed in life to be for us to live healthily. Ladies and gentlemen, Zambia is very, very rich in food and culture. In line with this year's theme, it is indeed important to equip our local farmers with knowledge about the contribution that traditional seed and food makes towards food and natural or nutrition security and well-being of the people.
Festival Organizing Chairperson for 2021, Juliet Nanyamba, who is also Community Technology Development Trust Programs Manager, explained the purpose of the event.
The Zambia Seed and Food Festival, the festival itself, is a very important event because we are trying to celebrate the work that the farmers do, the indigenous knowledge around seed systems, the indigenous knowledge around production, and the effort, the work that they've done to continuously feed us. We are also trying to raise awareness around the policies, around seed systems that affect the farmers.
She also urged government to revise the Farmer Input Support Program FISIP to accommodate local seeds.
There's no need for people to be buying expensive seed each year that comes, yet they can prepare for the season by sowing seed that they can sow in good time before they can even receive the seed from FISIP. We also want to urge the government to look into FISIP. FISIP needs to be revisited because it is not working for the farmers. We want to ask government that FISIP should be inclusive, include even things that you would not normally find in FISIP, especially seed, legume seed, maybe even the indigenous seed that farmers are crying for.
In the end, it was a celebration of what should be celebrated, food, because no one can live without food. Reporting for MUVI TV News, I'm Afias Kaptula in Lusaka.
On that note, we take a break. See you shortly.
What is IO? IO is easy and convenient insurance cover via your phone. IO Recharge with Care gives you both My Life and My Hospital. My Hospital covers you should you be hospitalized due to an accident or injury, while My Life helps you take care of your loved ones should you lose your life. Both My Life and My Hospital cover lasts for 30 days. Who can get IO cover? IO is available to all Zambian citizens and residents who are between 18 and 65 years of age and an MTN mobile prepaid subscriber. How do you increase your cover? Auto Boost to quickly grow your cover. Just dial *296#. Select 9 to automatically boost with your selected amount of between 1 kwacha 15 ngwe and 10 kwacha. How do I claim? To claim is easy. Just dial *296# or visit io4u.com/ZM and click on Make a Claim, whether you are the policyholder, caretaker, or any beneficiary. Remember, you have 30 days after the incident takes place to make a claim. How do you follow up a claim on your cover? Just dial 111 and select 7. IO is easy, all done via your phone. IO, together with MTN. IO, because you care.
With the new MUVI Relaxer Cream, I get to wear my hair just like I live my life. The newly improved MUVI Relaxer has a moisture lock ingredient that guarantees stronger, longer, healthy hair. So beat the stereotype. Go naturally curly, bouncy, or straight. Don't be ordinary, be extraordinary. MUVI Relaxer's impact on black hair is dazzling. So get moving with MUVI. You'll definitely stand out. MUVI. All day confidence.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Meanwhile, the Civil Society Scaling Up Nutrition Alliance has urged government to provide finances, more especially to smallholder farmers, away from the Farmer Input Support Program to support food system reforms in line with Zambia's commitment at the recently held Food Summit in New York. Speaking to MUVI TV News in Lusaka, Civil Society Scaling Up Nutrition Alliance National Coordinator Matthew Mpuru says lack of access to financing for many farmers has continued to keep healthy diets out of reach for millions of Zambians, as most of them cannot add value and store the food they produce. Mr. Mhulu further expressed happiness that President Hakainde Hichilema has committed to ensure that every Zambian has access to safe and nutritious food.
The rest of the world in commemorating World Food Day on the 16th of October with the theme, Our Actions Are Our Future, Better Production, Better Nutrition, Better Environment and Better Life. We are calling on government to consider increasing financing to the agricultural sector ahead of the budget making process so that it responds to the dietary needs of the country. We have seen that previous agricultural interventions have been biased towards production of certain crops such as maize. But if Zambia is serious about reforming the food systems in line with the commitment that has been made at the UN Food System Summit, improving financing to the agricultural sector so that it responds to the dietary needs of the country as well as also protecting the environment is key. The focus that government should also take is also ensure that, disaster-prone areas are also taken care of, because they have been on the pipeline of government when it comes to relief food distribution, affecting quite a huge population. So if government is serious about reforming, the food system and making sure that everybody has 3 meals a day in line with the president's commitment, financing to nutrition has to be improved, and the agricultural sector becomes that vehicle that would make this a reality.
A Lusaka-based clergyman has appealed to politicians not to politicize the National Day of Prayer, slated for October 18th, 2021. Apostle Joseph Sibanda of Grace Pentecost Ministry Church has charged that the day, like in the previous years, is well intended. Hence, no one should politicize it but come in numbers for prayers and fasting. Apostle Sibanda says the Day of Prayer is outside political affiliation, as it is about God and the nation of Zambia.
As a blessing. And I want to encourage the politicians to turn to God on such a day like that and draw everybody to God in prayer and champion the faith, of this country. Let's not be political about this day simply because we have political affiliations. I think the Day of Prayer is outside political affiliations. It has to do with God and the nation of Zambia. It is a nation of Zambia, that we have to look at. I want to urge the youths not to be not to be overcarried with issues of politics, but the youths to look up to God on a day like that in prayer. It is very important that as a country we turn to God in prayer, that as a country we uphold this day of prayer. Please, if there are other things that we can talk about that disturb the peace of the nation, let's look at those things as things that must be abolished. But I think the day of prayer does not threaten the peace of the nation, but it encourages the unity of the country. It encourages forgiveness. It encourages reconciliation, and it calls the favor of God upon us as a country. Remember, the Bible says, "Blessed is a nation whose God is Jehovah."
Foreign investors of Chinese origin in Chibombo district of Central Province have called on the provincial administration to address the poor working attitude among immigration officers in the district. The investors have accused immigration officers from Chibombo of lacking courtesy and being intimidatory in their execution of duties, especially when dealing with foreign nationals. Speaking when he met Central Province Minister Credo Nanjua, Zambia's fastest logistics group director Andy Chen says the officers have on several occasions threatened to deport them out of the country despite having valid documents. Mr. Chen says it is unfortunate that the immigration department, led by its officer in charge, he could not consider them as enemies of the state despite carrying out legal investments that have led to the employment of at least 90 Zambian nationals. And the Sino-Hydro construction company interpreter Mr. Lee says immigration officers from Chibombo were so quick in threatening them with arrest for no apparent reason, and called on the government to intervene as the trend was making the investments insecure. In his response, Central Province Minister Credo Nanjua advised his administration team, which included the acting Deputy Permanent Secretary Mwape Kasanda, to follow up the matter and bring harmony. Mr. Nanjua has continued with his meeting and familiarizing himself with the region's investor as a way of appreciating its potential, and is excited to note that the province is rich in mining, tourism, and agricultural potential.
And I don't know, even up to now, I was still, when I think about that things, really nothing wrong. That's a working permit, everything. So that's why today I want to say that as a country, that's legal, department, somehow they do the things, they should follow all the procedures. You come to check, I welcome you, I show you. And then finally, you just lock me up for nothing. So by the end of the day, they release me.
The government says it is concerned with Mansa Sugar Limited and Chembe District for allegedly abrogating labor safety laws among its workers. The Pula Province Minister Derek Chilundika says government will not tolerate companies that defy labor laws. The minister said this when he made an on-spot check of the sugar processing company. More in the following report. Acting Director Commissioner Frank Siatwinda has reaffirmed government's commitment to ensuring farmers are well empowered with new innovations to improve productivity. Mr. Siatwinda says the farmers should take advantage of events like Expo to improve the linkage with the supplier of agro-imports equipment and services. He says this during a mini Expo hosted by Trident Foundation Limited in collaboration with Ministry of Agriculture and Trident Foundation Limited manager Joseph Ngwira encouraged farmers to diversify and take up farming as a serious business. Details in this report. The government says it is concerned, I beg your pardon, Kalumbila Acting Director Commissioner Frank Siatwinda has reaffirmed government's commitment to assuring farmers are well empowered with innovation to improve productivity.
Farming is a serious business. No wonder interactive events such as expos and agriculture shows are the main reason farmers find true meaning in their practice. They are also platforms farmers and other stakeholders in business learn new farming technologies and create links with exhibitors and showgoers. Kalumbila Mine held a mini expo for the farmers within its catchment area and beyond. Acting District Commissioner Frank Siatwinda graced the event.
The Government of the Republic of Zambia recognizes and appreciates the role of private sector players such as Kalumbila Minerals through its corporate social responsibility wing in the name of Trident Foundation Limited, and together with the other stakeholders such as city companies are playing in uplifting the welfare and living standard of the farmers within their areas of operations. These efforts are immensely supplementing government efforts in bringing goods and services closer to the farming community in our district.
You're still watching MUVI TV Primetime News. Let's take a break.
Place a bet, search on the web, or get the app. One Expert Bookmaker Company.
The government of the Republic of Zambia, through the Ministry of Health and cooperating partners, will be conducting the Zambia Population-Based HIV Impact Assessment, ZAMFIA, starting April 2021. The survey is targeting those aged 15 years and above in randomly selected households throughout the country. Participants will voluntarily give consent to be able to participate. The survey will enable individuals to test for HIV in the comfort of their own homes at no cost. Individuals found HIV positive will be linked to treatment, care and support. The survey will also enable individuals who already know their HIV positive status to retest and know their CD4 and viral load. Trained health workers will visit selected households wearing personal protective equipment, PPE, and Zamfia branded materials with an official identity card from the Ministry of Health to conduct this survey. A similar survey was last undertaken in 2016, and the results have been used to design interventions to prevent the spread of HIV and control the epidemic. The Zambia survey will assess the progress made towards epidemic control and ending AIDS by the year 2030 in line with the set national targets. Zambia, participate and make it happen. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and the National AIDS Council with support from the United States Presidency Emergency Fund for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and the University of Maryland, Baltimore.
Presenting Mr. Money! Send cash and get cash right now from overseas. With international money transfer, it's just a breeze. Receive cash from across Africa at cool rates, and receive cash from other networks across states. You can cross borders at any time with your local Airtel line. So many deals with Airtel Money. It's your time. Mr. Money, he knows it all. Send and receive money from most countries in Africa with international money transfer. With our global money partners, transact conveniently across borders.
Thank you so much for watching our Primetime News. This has been Jesse Jongwe. Continue enjoying the rest of our programming on MUVI TV, your channel of choice.